and welcome to Hilltop at Home. I'm your host, David Wise, and for this edition of your Hilltop at Home, I wanted to talk about politics and your portfolio. I think we can agree on at least one thing this election season. This election matters. Policy matters. But how much does it matter to your portfolio? And do your investments care who gets elected? We're going to break all this down and more in this video. So let's take a look at politics in your portfolio through a couple different lenses. The first being the presidency. Going back to the 1920s, we've had 11 party switches. And as evidenced by this chart here, you can see the markets and the economy tend to go upward regardless of who's in power. We've been through a lot in the last 100 years. Wars, famine, stagnation, oil embargoes, you name it, we've gone through it. So the market is resilient. The economy is resilient. So keep that in mind. The second lens that we want to look at is a balanced portfolio. 60% stocks, 40% bonds over the last 40 years during election years and non-election years. And you can see in this chart here, the annual return is almost identical in non-election years and election years. And what we take from this is that the markets are directly impacted by economic growth and productivity. And what's most important going forward, especially during this pandemic and recession that we're currently in, is that we get back to work, that we get the economy fully reopened, and that's what the market is really going to be moving on over the next 6 to 12 months. Now that we have a better understanding, historically speaking, of how the markets tend to cut through the noise of the elections and the election cycles, what do you do from here? How do you protect yourself? How do you continue to grow your portfolio during this uncertain time? And so we have a couple thoughts for you. Number one, keep your cash reserves high. Bolster those cash reserves, because if there is a layoff or a job change in the future, you need to rely heavily on that financial margin. So have a good cash reserve in place. Number two, you can know your risk in your portfolio. I don't think a lot of people understood just how far their portfolio could fall in March when the pandemic hit, but it's important to make small course corrections right now, small adjustments in order to take advantage of some of the opportunities that are still out there. And number three, always be revisiting your financial plan. Can't stress that enough. Work with an advisor group like Hilltop so that you know and have the confidence to get through this election season, stay disciplined, and empower yourself to push out the noise and focus on things that matter, like voting, which is my last point. Get out there and vote, know the issues. We encourage you to listen to a different perspective other than your own, as that's going to go a long way in bringing us together. Let me wrap up by just thanking everybody for watching today. A special thanks goes out to those essential workers that are on the front lines, working long hours away from their family. We salute you. We thank you. And to everybody, hope you learned something. Stay safe and healthy from Hilltop. Till next time, we'll see you later.